All right, team. Let's analyze a stock together. The one I want to take a look at now is NETE. This was pulled straight from today's surprises. That's a screener on bar chart. Bar chart is a software, a stock information or stock analysis software that I like to use. So today's surprises pulls a number of stocks that made a big move either in pre-market or during the market open, and kind of caught investors and traders off guard. Like it made a move and no one expected it. Generally, that's what it means. So right here, I have all of those stocks that made a decent move today. And I have it organized by which stock made the biggest move in dollar amount. And that one is ARDX. We analyzed that earlier. It's on the site. So if you want to take a look at that video, just go back to the previous one. And I looked at ABEO, but honestly, even though it made a move of $1.40, I wasn't a big fan of it. I looked at the long-term chart of it. It's right here. I'll pull it up. So this is the 1 year, 1 day view of it. And the stock's been in a downtrend. It was at a high of $15.55 back towards September. And now it was around $1.46 just yesterday. So this stock has had a dramatic drop during the past year. If you look at the RSI, it's been oversold for a very long time, since June, which is just crazy. And then there's no clear support and resistance areas other than this downtrend triangle, and that's not a safe play for me, if you guys know that. So this one, according to the long-term chart, I wouldn't have traded it. And then also I looked at the news today, and the news, there wasn't much news. It basically was related to options. The stock is somehow related to options, and I don't know much about options. So, that news wouldn't have worked for me. However, it had a good day. It went from a low of 163 to 333. So that's a nice move. Plenty of room for profit there. I'm just all about the low risk, high reward game, and this one wouldn't have given me easily identifiable entry points and exit points other than on the intraday chart. And I'm more interested in the longer term historical view of it and using that to trade intraday. So I would have stayed out of this one. The next option is NETE. Okay, it's at $6. And let's look at the chart view of it. So bar chart has this nice tool where if I have a list of stocks like this from a scanner or from a screener, I can click flip charts, and that's going to show me the chart view of each of those stocks. So all of the same stocks are here now. It's just a chart view. So I can click next, and there's ABEO that we just talked about. Next, and there's NETE. So immediately looking at this, I can see that there's a level right here that was tough to break previously, that it didn't get the chance to break. So that's a good thing to look at. I can see it had a high and around October and November, close to $10, and at one point it got above $10. Looks like it was somewhere around $10.50. So that's a good thing to look at. I can see that there's support right here. All right, so this I'll pull up on our screen here on Thinkorswim. That's the charting platform that I like to use just to get a look at it. So it looks like I've looked at this stock previously because there's already one of my downtrend lines here. So looks like from December of last year, it's been in a downtrend overall, and just recently broke out of that downtrend triangle, and now it's trying to make a big move up. So that's a decent pattern. I'm not a big fan of downtrend plays, but this one was definitely a great reward to people who got in. So let me look at a couple of things. First thing I'm going to do is remove some of these previous marks that I had on here. Remove that one. Move remove that one, and remove that one. All right, so the rest of what's on here is just moving averages and that one trend line that that we just talked about. So I'm going to see if I can find a bottom or a level of support somewhere. So right here, the low is $3. $3.08 or $3. So it only hit that once. So I'm not this. That can be a level of support, but it's not a very strong level of support. The next level of support was right here around 378. So you see previously in October of last year, around that time frame, it hit that area, and then hit it again in around June, right before June, right there. So that was a good bounce play, popped up. So if it would have continued that momentum and used this support area again right here, it could have popped out, squeezed out of this triangle a lot earlier, but instead it dropped, couldn't make it through until it just continued to drop from there. And I'm guessing that somewhere around here, some good news lifted the stock up. So we'll take a look at that and see if that was the case. So what's the next level? I see right here, there's a level of resistance that's been in play for quite some time. So this is all good. These are good things to see. So right here it touched, right here it touched, couldn't get above that level. Right here it touched, couldn't get above that level. Right here it touched, right here it touched, right here it touched. It got close around here, and then the downtrend took over and swept it down. So this is a good level to be aware of. Let's see if there was any support around that area. It looks like there was some support right here as well. All right, and that's right there. Cool. So we had kind of broke through it right here, and then really defined it right here. So you can see it started to respect that line there, respected that line there, respected it there, and then finally broke through there, and then the downtrend took over there as well. Okay, and then the next level I would say is probably somewhere around here, 730. But I'm not going to draw that line right now because it has to get through 665 before we can even start to talk about it moving higher. So those are good levels. That's good. Let me zoom out a little bit more to see if I'm missing anything. So let's look at a 2-year perspective. Right here I see some lines. But again, that's around 696, so that's a little bit high right now. Right here, I see a line, a couple touches right there. I actually like that, so I'm going to draw that line right there. Actually a fan of that, so we'll draw that and see what that looks like on the daily chart. So you see there's a little jumbled right here, but it did find support in that area, broke through. Then it became resistance right here, became resistance right here, gapped all the way up, became support right here, became support right here, and then finally broke through right here. Okay, and then looks like it became support a little bit in this area too. All right, so there we have it. That's a good year view of the stock, a good longer term view. Now let's see what it looked like for the past 15 days in 1 minute. So what I see here is, it's been grinding up. It's had a couple of good days, consolidated here, and then had a good day up to $6.27. So that's a good level. Kind of found support around this area recently, this 463 area. So you see one touch there, one touch there, one touch there. So that's a good level to be aware of as well. So I'll take a look and see if I want to mark that. Give me a second. I'm looking for just got the low battery message. So grabbing the charger. There we go. Cool. All right. So this is a decent level as well to be aware of in case it comes back down. But I don't imagine it coming all the way back down there just yet, so I'm not going to draw that. All right, so from what we already have, looks like this was actually resistance previously, so I'll draw this. So a couple of days ago, it reached a nice high, and that became resistance for it again at some point here. So we'll draw that. All right, now let's zoom into today, just today. So awesome. It starts at 475, opens up at that price, around that area. Actually, it opened at 479-ish, somewhere around there. Started to grind up, okay? And now its first level of support, resistance is right here at that 542. And what's 542? 542, if we go back to the 1 year, 1 day frame, 542 is right around here, okay? And that's where it, found support right here. Let's see, that was actually the 2 year time frame. So if we go back to 2 years and 1 day, 542 is right here. And that's where it touched here, couldn't break out here, couldn't break out here, found support here, all the way back to 2 year trend line, which is good to see. So, uh, 542, that's where that was right there, finally broke through, and then ran into resistance right here at 578, and as you can see, it respected this line. So let's take a look at where that line came from. But also, keep in mind the 542 support that we just looked at, that's where it bounced. So that would have been, to me at least, the first excellent play. I like support bounces, so that's a low risk trade for me. Right here is another good opportunity where, went from 475 and 542, 543 was supposed to be resistance, but it broke through. However, I wouldn't have taken this trade because it already moved all the way up to this area, and now this is resistance. And resistance is trying to push you down. So I don't want to, that's already kind of against me. Luckily, this stock had the momentum to continue to push through. However, I wouldn't have taken that trade. Support bounces are, a place where this line is trying to catch the stock and catapult it back up. And so that's more reasonable to me, safer, low risk, higher reward for me. So this would have been my first entry place right here around that 542. Touch this line almost perfectly, like it's literally incredible, right? And then moves up from 543 all the way back up to that other resistance line of 579. So, I'd say it's somewhere around 20 to 30%, 30-cent profit or so. Then, this is resistance, so it comes back down, grinds back up, and breaks through. Where's this 578 mark from? Let's take a look. 578 on the 1 year time frame comes from this area where it found support right here, found support right here, found support right here, found support right here, found support in this area. So that's where that comes from. Okay, so we can see these longer term trends becoming critical on the intraday chart. Okay, awesome. So it breaks above that now, right? And it's free flowing. And where does it run to? It runs up to this 630-ish resistance level. Okay, just a couple cents off, about 5 cents off, and then it starts to come back down. It finds support where? Right around that 579 area that we created right here. It goes a couple cents lower, 574 or so, but this still would have been an excellent place to get in as long as your stop loss wasn't too tight. Okay, you want to give it room to work. So getting in here would have been another good place to get in. It goes from 570, you would get in around 578. Hold on for just a hot second, and then it uses one of the intraday moving averages to pull it back up. It grinds all the way back up to 631, the previous resistance line, and then it actually breaks through a little bit. It's not a confirmation break, but it is a break, and then comes back down right to where that previous 578 support. Okay, so to me, some safe trades. This one you avoid. This one could be a good short opportunity. However, I'm not a big fan of shorting, so I wouldn't have taken this short. My first trade would have been right here at 543 for the bounce all the way up to 578. That's enough profit for me, right? You get in with the right share size, that's a couple $100 or more. So you can get out there. Um, then it would have grinded up. It would have broken through, which is good, and then found support around here again. This could have been your second trade if you wanted. So you get in around 579 for a support bounce after it clearly broke out and confirmed the breakout. Comes back down to this area to retest 578, and then it holds on. It grinds right back up to 640. So to me, this would have been a good trade from 579 all the way up to close to, I would have taken it to the previous high, which at the point would have been 624. So right around here, I would have gone from 578 to 624, right? So that's plenty of room for profit there. So this to me would have been a great trade. And the analysis is spot on. It's just using the longer term trend lines of support and resistance in order to find easy, low risk entry and exit points on this stuff. Okay. And that's using bar chart, right, to figure out which stocks made the moves today, or which ones were going to make the move. And then using Thinkorswim or whatever your charting platform is to create those trend lines. So, if you saw this one grinding up earlier, or if this was on your watch list, this would have been one of the safest ways to trade it intraday. Okay. All right, guys.